she called all of her followers the pretty committee. I think that is that is so cute. But she's a celebrity makeup artist, one, social media influencer, all, a prayer warrior. I mean, it is an honor to actually be sitting here with you. I mean, I cannot be any more grateful than I am already. Now, this lady had the opportunity to work with your favorite artists such as Angela Bassett, Cicely Tyson.
Amazing, right? Like breathtaking. She is I call her my earth angel. She's my earth angel. Like, how could I be so blessed to work with someone that has transcended through several generations of greatness? She's 94 years old. We have so many actors, unfortunately, who are leaving us early. We have actors who have given up on their careers, and we have actors who have not been able to penetrate through racial lines, in Hollywood. It's hard to go through decades of success.
I mean, that is
as
like
a woman
the
and as
makeup
a black
artist.
woman.
That is a makeup artist's dream.
Yeah.
To work with someone have such a high standard.
Yeah.
I mean, it is amazing. What was the conversations like? Because I know I seen like people like Monica. She says a lot of things that Cicely Tyson had told her to keep her career going and everything that she had. So I know she has those deep conversations with people like yourself.
Yes.
So what were like?
Well, we're very intimate, and as I get closer to you, you're this close to her. Come, you're literally in her space as her artist. So there's nothing that separates us but a cake. I can almost hear her heartbeat. I can feel her taking her breaths.
The energy.
I can feel, and I'm not really a big energy person, so forgive me, I'm not an energy person, I'm a spirit person.
Gotcha.
So I always say her spirit, I can feel her spirit. I can feel everything that she exudes, which is confidence and power and feminism and discretion and love and peace. And all of that comes from her being very centered. So some of our conversations were actually just in touch. She's very endearing. She likes you. She touches. And not to sound crazy, but she's very endearing. And so a lot of it was nonverbal communication. Her smile, her affirming eyes. She's looking at what I'm doing. She said, I like to watch your little fingers move. Because they move with confidence. I got little fat hands, and my nails are actually longer than my fingers probably. So, so she's like, I like to watch your little fingers move, because she said, you move with such confidence.
Now, if y'all didn't know, D. Kimberly had the pleasure of working with Cicely Tyson the entire Essence weekend. She did her makeup, so that's what the conversation that we're talking about right now.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yes, and I wouldn't have traded to be with her for 3 days. Was something that I can't even describe for you. I literally sat in my room one of the nights, did not go to any of the concerts, didn't want to party, and just take it in. And it's funny because that next day, out of nowhere, we're riding in the car, and there's complete silence, and she turns to me and says, Kimberly. And I said, yes, ma'am. And she says, do you journal? No. She said, do you keep a diary? And I said, no. I said, sometimes I journal because I'm a creative, and so I use my iPhone, and I look at my phone, and I write all of these notes. She said, no, I need you every day to write 2 or 3 lines about your life. Your life is amazing, and you are doing some incredible things. She said, like, this event we're doing right now is history. And this time next year, you might not feel this way, so you may need to go back and read this for some other time.
You actually had the pleasure to speak on the main stage for Essence, and I think that you said that you've been trying to do this for years. So how did that make you feel, being in such Black empowerment like that?
A few days before I got to Essence, I was texting another one of my glam fam, and I told her, I said, I am so grateful that we are still in the game. I've been in the game 27 years, and I've never had an opportunity to speak on the Essence stage. And she was like, I said, this is like legendary. And she said, you're a legend. You should be speaking. And for whatever reason, every feeling of incompetency, or sometimes you feel like I may not be good enough to speak on the stage. Maybe that's why I haven't spoken on stages yet. But I felt when she said that, it was affirming for me. And it's my time. And I think that more people realize it's their time, they'll walk in their truth. So this weekend I walked in my truth.
Yeah.
And wherever I felt weak, I just relied on God to make me strong.
Okay, that is it. And she does these prayer lines,
yes,
right? Do you
yes.
do it every morning? Or?
Well, our church, I'm married to a pastor. My husband's Pastor Dante King.
So you're first lady.
I'm a first lady. I'm also a co-pastor of the church. I've had my minister's license for 15 years. So I'm an elder at our ministry. And we have a church in Clinton, Maryland. And my gifting specifically is prayer. So we have a prayer line that is 5 days a week. And we pray twice a day. So I do the 6 o'clock a.m. call, and I do it on Tuesdays. My husband starts off the week, and then one of our ministers carries out the week, but I do Tuesdays. So it's really my heartbeat, because I believe you can't know God if you don't talk to Him. Any relationship,
right?
If you don't communicate with the person, you can't know them because you don't talk to them. You don't know their voice.
Right.
So I know your voice when a person calls you. If you pick up the phone and never look at the call ID, you know their voice. If you know that person. And so we have to learn God's voice. So when we call Him, we can hear Him, but we're not hearing other voices, because the enemy will send other voices your way to tell you you're not big, pretty enough, you're not successful enough, and all of these things he tells you negatively. And even with your career, if you're watching this and you're a makeup artist or whatever you are, if you are allowing other people to feed you with things, you'll never hear the voice of God. So you gotta know His voice, so that way you can block out all of that.
Okay, now how was it? The Kim Lee also worked on the set with Angela Bassett, The Avengers. Yes. How was that? Was this your first time working on a big movie set?
I've actually done 3 of her movies.
Okay.
And so I do.
You did Real Housewives.
But Housewives is different than working on a movie set.
How?
Totally different, because a movie set is typically a union working house. Your hours are different. The responsibility of working on a movie is different. You have to know continuity. You have to know, which means what order the scenes are in. You have to be a lot more educated in television and film to work on a film. You have to also be in a union, and I'm in Local 798, which is an East Coast union. And so it's a little different cred. It's a little bit different street cred working on a movie versus no shade, but you can pick up your makeup kit and work on a set of a Housewives or whatever. If that particular housewife wants you on that set, and they feel that once you do the screen test, you're good enough. But working on a movie is a lot different.
You have to be in a union to work on a movie.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Or if not, you have to be a artist request. And then there's still some you still have to follow union rules. You have to, go through a union process for payment, just all those kind of things. But you need to know your stuff to be on a movie set, and you have to have longevity. Like, you have to be equipped for this physically, because you're talking about 12, 18-hour days. So it's long.
So it's like a lot of time you're doing makeup changes, like is that?
No, it's a lot of time of waiting. It's a lot of time of studying. It's a lot of time of cleaning. It's a lot of time of ordering product. It's a lot of time of making sure your artist is straight. It's just a lot of other nuances that, as we call them, red carpet artists don't have to worry about. So I've had the pleasure of working in both arenas. So I've worked the red carpet, meaning that I do it, we call it a do and go, where you go to the person's room, you do their makeup and you say bye-bye. Okay. Or you go to the person's room and you walk with them down the red carpet and you say bye-bye. Yeah. But with a movie, you are married to that person for however long that set time is. So you're with them every day. And so if we shot today and it's raining and they have the lights up to make it look like it's sunny, but tomorrow it's sunny, but it's really, really hot, you have to make your skin look like it's the same temperature as it was the day before.
So you need to know
So
makeup.
You have to know makeup. You have to know how it oxidizes and how it's going to translate on camera. You're doing a lot of camera testing, and they're sending the images to whatever movie house you're in, whether the movie house is in LA or New York or wherever they're editing. And those big producers are looking at your stuff and they're saying she doesn't look like she's supposed to be that made up at 6 o'clock in the morning, or she doesn't look fresh. So it's 6 o'clock at night. Why does she look like this? Or if it got a black eye, what day is it? The black eye goes through a phase, so it's not black when you get hit.
Right.
it takes some days, so it goes through a period of color change. So you have to know that. You have to know when blood, how
so it's basically like you need to know the movie.
You gotta know a lot, man. You have to know a lot about special effects. You have to know timing. You have to know body temperature, outside temperature, and you just have to be built for it. You gotta. So it's a lot different than shooting Housewives, where you're in the convenience of some, you know, you're just sitting on the side while they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah.
Here, you may be outside in inclement weather. It might be raining, and it might be a small place where we are, but it's not enough room for all the staff. So you gotta step outside and wait 3 hours while they shoot that scene over and over and over again.
Was it worth it?
It's always worth it because you leave a legacy for your children's children to watch. Your name will always be on credit.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I know it's a lot of work, but at the end of it, when you actually look at this movie and see,
you gotta love it.
Yes.
You just gotta love. You gotta love the whole process and know that it takes a village to create a production, and everybody's job is important. It's like a well-oiled engine. With one thing wrong, it could possibly not work. So if the makeup is off, if the hair is off, if the lighting is off, if the script is off, if a person misses the fact that why does she have an Apple Watch and it's supposed to be 1986? Take the Apple Watch off her, And so you have a continuity producer. You have people who understand, themes and period. Like they know what was actually in. They know that this type of couch was not, in the 90s. Like this couch did not erect into a different era. So you just have to have people that know everything. Yeah, so it's usually about 200 people on set of a movie set, at least 200 staff people.
So do you ever have to be an influencer to any of those people on set just to keep them going? Like someone new.
Sometimes you do. When you have the time, you have to be encouraging. You have to keep people because you're married to these people. You're with them every day for months. And they become family. And you're concerned about your family. If somebody has a death in the family or somebody is going through a heartbreak, a lot of my, I hate to say this, but a lot of my film family don't have relationships because it's hard to have a relationship when you're on the road like that and you're gone so long. I have really blessed me to work on a lot of different projects.
What was your time when you actually feel like, okay, like your coming moment, like, all right, I can't, like this is my time, I did it, or
I don't know that this is great you asked me this because that's why I think Cicely asked me to just begin to journal because people always say what's next in our business. What you got going on next? Now is my next.
Okay.
I am living in my now. And industry people, we don't live in our now because we're always reaching and searching for that next big thing. So I have to sit, you have to ask me that question after I start journaling. Because then I can begin to enjoy the moments that I have been afforded and not always be reaching for the next. I've had some magical moments this year.
And you don't think you enjoy them?
I don't, because I do but I don't. I enjoy them for a quick moment and then my head is spinning and I'm going to the next thing because our business moves so quickly. And I think that I don't want that to happen. And I took those words from Miss Tyson, and I'm going to really begin to enjoy the moments. Avengers was a big moment. That's a moment. Being on Essence stage, that's a moment. Working with Cicely Tyson twice this year. This wasn't my first time working with her. I worked with her before doing some things for Humanity of Connection, which is the one of the sectors of AT&T. And Humanity of Connection is a way where they work with diversity of culture and race, and they bring those things together and merge and make partnerships. And so they believe that she is one of those people that help to bridge that gap. So she's been honored several times and spoken at several events. And so I've worked with her 3 times. This is my 3rd time working with her. But this time was something different.
Yeah.
And so
it was more intimate, you think?
It was much more intimate. I was with her for 3 days.
Yeah.
So it's a little different. And I believe again, just having that opportunity. This is a moment, one of my big moments. And so I want to relish in that.
So you've been in makeup for over 20 years.
Yes.
So what kept you going?
That's a very good question, and I think it's something that people watching this need to hear. I think reinvention kept me going. Knowing that you can't stay stuck in anything too long, and you have to know your expiration date. I think evolution is what kept me going, knowing that the same way trends evolve, I have to evolve. And so I think with anything you want to do, you have to follow the industry you work in and realize as it is changing, you should be changing. As it is progressing, you should be progressing. The same way I know, shoe designers and clothing designers, I should also know makeup. I should know the ingredients. I should know the payoff of it, meaning how once it is applied to skin, what is it going to do? I should have product knowledge. I should be equipped to answer questions that my customer wants to know. I need to know different ways and strategies to keep my customers coming back. I have to reinvent myself. I have to understand, how to merge into different arenas and grow. And I think that comes from dreaming. I think going by myself a lot, what I do is in the summer months, I do a little bit of a vacation time during July. And what I do is I try to go away somewhere with the water. And I really feel like God speaks to me where I'm sitting somewhere by the water. So you have to reinvent yourself. Then I do it again in November. What I do before the new year, because once the new year hits, it's too late for the new you. You have to get in the mindset of the new you before the new comes. And so I always tell people, you're transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's word, that's scripture. And so if I am going to change, I got to start here first. If you ever going to start a diet, if you ever decide you're going to do anything that's tough, any mountain you got to climb, right? You have to have a mindset for change first, then the change will come. If you're just going through the motions, you're going to fall off. But once you have a mindset of change, then you'll be good. And so what keeps me in this business is knowing that my mind is constantly being transformed. And every day I need to be searching and looking for new. And you have to be passionate about what you do. That only comes from passion. You gotta wake up with this thing. You gotta wake up, go to sleep, do it for free. I did somebody this weekend for free. And and so I did because I knew there was a need, and I was like, okay, absolutely, I'll do it. But you have to be able to, whatever it is that you love, and you can't have a passion somebody else has. You gotta have your own dream. How dare you insult God by desiring somebody else's dream? God gave you a dream. He gave you a passion. It's inside of you, and you don't have to look far for it. And everything you need is equipped, is inside of you. And you don't have to go and covet somebody else's page or covet somebody else's success or covet somebody else's man or whatever. God got something for you. He got something for you. But you got to take the time, the same effort that you take to peruse social media and admire. See, admiration is one thing. But when I desire what you have, I covet what you have, that's a different situation. And God is not pleased with that. He wants us to want what He wants for us.
Right.
So God, what is it that you want for me? What should I be doing? Not what you're doing. I got to do what I'm supposed to do. Yeah. So that's what keeps me doing this 27 years. It keeps me, because I know that God is using me. My makeup case is my pulpit. Sometimes I never have to preach, but God, they see my fruit. People are attracted to juicy fruit, right? Yeah. We talk about the fruit of the Spirit: love, peace, joy, temperance, meekness, right? That's the fruit. People want juicy fruit. They want to be around people that exude that. And then you find yourself to be a magnet, like a moth to a flame. And you ain't got to ever say Jesus. You just got to walk it. Jesus did more in the 3 years than people do their whole life when He was on this earth. Yes. And all He did was walk.
So a question from the pretty community.
Yes.
What can regular people in a regular day do when it's so hot? Like, what kind of makeup can we do?
Oh, girl, you're going to have to clear it up instead of covering it up.
Wait, I like that.
Yes, and then you got to clear it up. You got to have some good skincare, and you got to know your talking points. What are your talking points? What are those 5 things that you can do real quick that's going to make you look fabulous? Do that brow. You're going to do those lips. You're going to apply those lashes. Like, I have a very low foundation. I just put a little something on because my skin, I have clear skin. I take good care of my skin. I drink a lot of water. But I get a lot of rest. I go to sleep at night. I don't sleep probably as much as I should. Whoever's watching this, y'all probably say, you don't sleep enough, Dr. Kim. But I do. I sleep some. Right? But you got to find those things that are going to make you stand out. And when it's really hot like this, I think less is more. The name of my line is called Wink and Pout by Kim Lee. Wink and Pout by Kim Lee. It was inspired by my celebrity encounter, so I have some really cool names. When I started the line, when it erected, I was working with Kerry Washington, doing some cover work for her for Scandal. So my first collection was a Scandal collection.
Okay.
So I have really cool names like G-String and In Love with My Ex and colors like that. And then I did some stuff.
Real catchy names.
Real catchy names. And then I did some things for Fox, which was great. And so they came out with this really popular show. Not sure if y'all heard of it, but it was called Empire. And so Fox called me and, as an influencer. I partnered with Kim Kimball and Damone Roberts and some other artists, and we put together this pack, it's almost kind of like a promotional pack to talk about Empire. What does the cast of Empire wear? So I came up with a color called Empire Red, which is the most beautiful, fiery, amazing red. We cannot keep it on the shelf. So that was the color that they put in that bag, and to date it is our biggest seller. And so I did the Empire collection. So I had a color called Boo Boo Kitty, Empire Red, I Got You Boo, like all of them things, all of Cookie's witty, cute sayings is what I call all of the colors in that collection. So I've had some really cool collections.
And my thing is with, like, whenever I do makeup, well, I don't really do makeup. I only could do my own face.
You look good.
But I love the clears, like the lip glosses, and red is like the only color I think look good on me.
I like you in red, and that's your statement color. I always tell women, if you find a color that you absolutely love, you gotta do what works for you.
But what if you start getting bored with it? Because I be like, look, I'm gonna just put on a clear,
and then you don't like it because you want to go right back to that red. That's what happens. That's your signature color. Think about Gwen Stefani. She wears that bright red. That is her color. If you think about Paloma Picasso, we think about all of these people who were statement people who were known for their thing. Those are the two women I can think of that with statement red lip that looked amazing. That's your thing. Listen, red lips and big shades will get you in first class on every airplane. Don't forget that.
I'm definitely not. Because every time I'm in the airport, I'm just looking.
No, just put your big shades on, girls. Put your big shades on, honey, and your red lip. Pull that head back tight, honey. They're going to be like, come on, ma'am. Come right over here to first class where you belong. Okay?
This is where I belong. Well, I think we covered basically everything. I want to say thank you again for letting me have the pleasure in interviewing you. I mean, I'm definitely going to live vicariously through you.
Yeah.
Definitely. I'm going on your website, and please follow her. Please go on this website. I mean, you're not going to be disappointed. Y'all know I'm going to get this red right. But I want to say thank you again.
Thank you for having me.
So appreciative.
Good luck to you on your blog. This is awesome, and everybody needs to see the ShakitaKae show.
Thank you so much.